What's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel today. We are in the shop. It's cold down here in southern Illinois, and we even got some snow. But I have some things to do in the shop, and I thought I'd bring you along to show you what I'm up to. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. Alright, just when I thought that I would never see another Max Track or old Motorola radio, those hopes were dashed. A friend of mine came up and gave me these 3 radios and said a friend gave them to him, and if they worked, maybe we could find a use for them. Now, as you know, these Max Track radios, you can find them everywhere. They're very popular back in the day, and we're going to try to figure out what we got here and what works. Now, I believe, these things are pretty reliable, these radios, so I'm pretty sure that probably all 3 of them work. But things we want to look for that will dictate what we can do with them are this. One, these are each 2-channel radios, and they're most likely either VHF or UHF, of course. One other thing we want to look for is how many pins do we have back here. All 3 of these are 5-pin logic boards, which are not as desirable as the 16-pin. Can we still do things with them? Yes. Yes, we can. So things you could do with them, yes, you could put them into ham radio use. You could put them in the car. You'd only get 2 channels out of them. Now, if they had a different face plate on there, you could bump them up to maybe 32 channels. But with these 5-pin logic boards and these, the configuration that they are right now, they're probably always going to remain 2-channel. So down here, you can see that we got a Max Track here and then 2 radiuses. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them over to the bench and we're going to put some power to them, see if they turn on, and then key them up and see what frequency they're on, and kind of decide what we want to do with these. If they all work, maybe we'll find something like, maybe a packet node, some kind of packet APRS station like a Digipede or something that they might be useful for. We need to find out what band they're on. I did not look at the plate. Let's see, where's this guy's at? This guy doesn't even have one. Okay, there's not even anything on the back. Let's see if this one has anything on it. Yeah, see? Why didn't this guy have it? His must have been taken off. Alright, so we don't know what that is. And we do know this. So I didn't look at them. You can tell by that what frequency, what band they're on. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to take this over to we'll take this one first. We'll find out what it is. And then if it runs, and then we'll figure out what to do with it. Maybe we'll use it for a packet APRS station or something like that. Who knows? Let's go to the bench. Okay, we got everything set up here on the bench, and we're going to put some power to this thing and find out what it is. So I got the service monitor warming up. We may or may not need that. I got my little frequency counter here. Look at that thing, a little Scout. Looks like the batteries are running down, so hopefully I got enough juice to make that work. And then I got my power over here. So let's connect that up. Hopefully you can see that. And man, this is not a good camera angle, is it? Really isn't. But let's see if you can see that. So let's put some power to this. I got it turned off. Got 12 volts running to it. Ooh, we got some power. That is changing from frequency 1 to frequency 2. Monitor. Open up the squelch. Looks like everything's good there. I do not have a dummy load connected to it, so that's bad. That's bad. So let's screw this in. It's a little adapter. And Let's see if I'm lucky enough. Don't have anything right off the bat. I'm sitting up here looking for adapters. Come on, man. That's not gonna work. Well, I could do it like this, I guess. Gotta move that out of the way. Should I have gotten this ready beforehand? Yes. Let's see, take that off. This off. And put that over here. Alright. Now I got a dummy load on this baby. So let's key this up and see if it works. So I got a red light on transmit, so you can see it's if you can see that it's 153.85 megahertz is what it's transmitting on. There you go. So we got a good transmitting radio. It changes, if you can see that, it changes from frequency 1 to frequency 2. The monitor is working, most likely, just because this is not hooked up to the clip. So we'll see, we can fix that. So yeah, radio number 1 is working. So let me switch radios, and we'll do this with all the other two. I got the Radius, one of the Radius radios here, and we'll get this adapter in here and get it hooked up to the dummy load. And then the microphone. It'd be nice if all 3 of these worked. Turn it off, turn the power supply on. We got our frequency counter here. Turn it on. Good thing, came on. Channel 1 and 2 working. Squelch working. Let's key it up and see what frequency we're on. Same thing, 153.85. Alright, so that's that one. And we'll switch radios and get this this other one here. Get that off. Get the adapter off. These mini UHF connectors, Motorola, come up with a different plan, man. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan. Alright. So this one's another 5-pin logic board. And I'm not saying that you can't do things with these. It's not as easy to do things with them as opposed to the 16-pin. I'm no expert with them, but I have worked with them for quite a few years. Alright, let's try this one out. Turn it off. I don't know if you can see that. Got the power supply on. Came up right away. Both channels. Oh, you know what we should have done? We should have found out what's on the other channel. Let's do that. That's a squelch. Okay, let's check it out. Hope you can see that. 153.86, a little bit off frequency, just a little bit. And let's see what's on channel 2. 154.4. I assume all these came from the same place and they're all programmed the same. So, all of them are working. So, we can turn on the old computer over there, the old DOS machine, and we can program these in to a ham band. But I'm not going to do that today in this video. This is going to be a short video. I'm just coming out here to the shop to mess around, so I thought I might come out here and show you what's going on out here. And maybe do a little bit of an update of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to get towards doing. But I got these radios, so what would you guys do with these radios? Would you use them as APRS stations, or what would they do? I guess I can clean them up. Now that I know that they all work, I will clean them up. Sometimes I take off the front control head here, or a control panel, or whatever you want to call it, the front control face, whatever. I take it apart, gut everything, clean everything out of the nooks and crannies, and get it all nice, looking nice and everything. And then I'll use them. These aren't really too dirty. I mean, this one here is pretty darn clean. If these were in squad cars or something like that, fire trucks, that might be the reason why they're decently clean. They have a little bit of dust in them, but other than that, they're in pretty good shape. They're old because they're older than the 16 pin, of course. But this one has a plug with a couple of wires coming out of it, so they must have had it run into a remote speaker. So anyway, we can't do something with these. They're not as useful as a 16 pin, but you know, they're not unusable. I mean, especially if you had a repeater site or something like that you wanted to have, you know, maybe you wanted a radio up there that you wanted to hear, like we could use this on our 6-meter repeater or our main repeater to use as a weather receiving monitor, like receiver, to switch in and out the National Weather Service onto the repeater. You can do things like that. There's all sorts of things you can use these old radios for, especially when you come on them and you don't really have to do anything to them except for program them. So, you know, we'll clean it up, get the dirt and grime off of them, and when we have our next club meeting, I'll bring it up that we have these, and if anybody wants one or two or all, they can take them and get them out of my shop. Oh my goodness, if I showed you all the radios like this that I have upstairs in the attic, from getting them from deals like this and all that kind of stuff. You know, Hamfest, you see a table with some guy giving them away, you just take them. There's parts in there you can use. I probably wouldn't use the parts on the inside of this radio, but you never know what component you might need to get one of these running again. Face frames, the plastic, you always are looking for plastic, so you might use the parts off of these. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you what we got here. So we got 3 radios, and I think I got 4 microphones, like these, the smaller ones, the non-TMF microphones. But there's always something you can do with these radios, and of course I'll you know, check them out on the service monitor and make sure they're transmitting and everything. But I think they're fine. I think they're in good shape, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's nothing to do really but clean them up and program them. So I will pass that message on to the person who gave it to me, and we'll go from there. But anyway, yeah. So what do you think about that? What would you use these for? Have you used them? What would you use them for? Is there anything that I'm forgetting about, you know, a purpose for these things? Definitely they're ham radio usable. But you could do just about anything you want to do with them. VHF, all 3 of them VHF, which is nice. I have a bunch of UHF models, the Max Trax, the GM300s, the Radius line. I think the Radius line, one of the Radius radios is our 6-meter receiver. So I want to do a little update on 6-meter repeater during this video, and kind of tell you what's going on around here. And we'll do that next. So yeah, in the comments, give me your thoughts of what you do with these. I don't have to, looks like I don't have to do any work on them or anything. So that's a good news. But I wish they would have gotten us, or given us all the mounting brackets for them and the screws. These screws here. I got screws for this one, no mounting bracket, and then this one I got no mounting bracket at all. But it would be nice to have the mounting bracket with it. I do have some mounting brackets, and you can get these, most of anything of this you can get off of eBay, so not a problem. I know a lot of people have a lot of old Max Trax and Radius and everything like that, so it's always one radio that's got Velcro. I always get them with Velcro. Alright, so that's what's going on with this. Well, let's do a little shop update. As you can see, we're standing in front of the 6-meter repeater. I have not touched this in months. And basically because I'm still waiting for an antenna to be put up on the tower, and an antenna and feed line. But I did take the receive radio out, and I have the receive radio setting, let's see, receive radio is right there. And the reason why it's there is I had it up on my bench, and I wanted to bring it up there and just do a little receive sensitivity test. I can't remember if we did that in any other video. So I thought I would maybe make a video of doing that. And then I want to try to make a video on programming this SCOM 7330. There's a ham club in the real near us that had one of these, and they had trouble with it. And I wish I could get that from them because I would try to repair it. So I might make them an offer to try to get that from them and bring it here and repair it. So they got a new repeater and they got a new controller, and they don't need their SCOM. They're not even going to repair it, so I don't know where it went, but I'm going to try to get it from them. Anyway, so I took the receive radio off here just to do a receive sensitivity test on it, but everything else with that, we're just using it for receive, so we really don't care. Our transmit radio is just fine. That's checked out just fine. So we're all good there. So I wanted to get to a point where I could move this repeater out to the repeater shack and get it out of my shop. So the one thing I need to do is just follow up on my programming on the controller, and then like one of these Max tracks would be great to be connected to the SCOM as a weather radio. Now I was going to use this one over here, this Kenwood radio. I could try to do that, but again, it's not going to be as easy because I have the 5-pin plug, so a 5-pin logic board. So I might be able to. I might just use this Kenwood anyway. I don't know, but I don't know if I have any VHF Max Tracks up in the attic. I don't know. But man, I wish one of these was a 16-pin. The reason why I say that is because I already have a jumper for this, for a 16-pin radio. It'd be nice just to marry it up there and be done with it. So I'll have to do a little check-in on the 5-pinners to see what I need to do to pull audio off of that. What a bummer. But the problem with that is, it's just not standard to what I'm doing. And I try to keep everything standard, so if I go out there and work somewhere, I know exactly what I got. There's no surprises. So anyway, so that's the status with this thing. This part here, the 6-meter repeater. I think, possibly, now don't hold me to this, but I'm possibly going to move this duplexer down to the other side of the shop and make a video of me programming it. So I can't reach anything up that high to program it, so they got to be laid down on their side. So that's coming up. The 220 repeater, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. The 220 repeater that was here, one of my buddies who's also a ham operator, of course, and is in the club, he had some time off, so he decided that he asked me if I wouldn't mind giving that to him as something to work on while he was off of work for the holiday. So I said, of course. So he's got it, and he's got it working. He pulled the exciter out. Remember, we had trouble with the exciter. He pulled that exciter out and put a different brand exciter in it and has it working. So he's working on the final amplifier for that, and if he can get that working, then the 220 repeater is done and ready to go. So thank you. I don't always have a lot of time to spend working on this stuff, so I'm really happy that he got that, and he enjoyed fixing it, I'm sure. So great on that. So on our 6, let's go back on our 6-meter repeater. We're just going to put that receive radio up on the bench, do a receive sensitivity test on it. If that checks out okay, and I know it's not going to be perfect because that radio is not meant for what we're doing. So there's some mods out there to try to make it a little bit more sensitive, and they've already tried that with that radio and it don't work. So fine, we'll just deal with what we got to deal with. If we have to put a preamp in there, fine. So that's that. So let's get this thing out of the way And we'll go back to this baby again, the MSF 5000 that we were working on. And it's still pretty much in the same shape it was in the last time we were here. It receives fine, it transmits as a repeater fine, but I'm getting error up here on the test fixture here. Our receiver, our transmitter, our IPA, our intermediate power amplifier, is not producing any power. So no power means no RF is getting up here to the power amplifier. So we need to find out what's going on with that. So if I can get this thing at a point where I don't have to touch it anymore, the programming's done, which is pretty much done now, I can just push this thing off to the side or take it up to the site and just leave it up there, and it's out of my sight. Then I can just concentrate on the MSF 5000 and get this thing running. So, and then back there is another UHF repeater that has to be recrystalled to be able to work for us. So that might happen, it might not happen, I don't really know. I worked on that a little bit, and then I haven't touched it since, so we might work on that at some point. So in the next video, I'll probably be working on this, and then we'll work on the programming of the SCOM and show you how to do that real easy with a interface, like a program to interface with it. So there's not a whole lot of typing of things you don't know what you're doing. So if you ever seen the manual of, well, heck, let's go for a little walk in the shop. I'll show you the manual for the SCOM. And I'll show you why it's sitting where it's sitting. It's sitting right here. This is the manual for it right here. And it's sitting there, so it's because it's going back into my house and going back on the bookshelf. And I do open it up and look at it, but I don't really need it because I have an interface program that will work to program that thing. So it's much easier than doing it the old-fashioned way. So we will do that, and then we'll come back here and work on the MSF 5000 and see if we can get this baby working. I cannot find parts for this thing anywhere. I looked for another IPA board, and that's underneath here. Yeah, I got this on. Let's just take this cover loose here. I have it loose. Let's see if I can get it off of here. I don't want to mess up anything. Doing it one-handed. So let's take that off. There. So here's our problem in here, our IPA. We got no power here, so we can check our power and make sure we got power here, and we'll check and see if we got RF coming here. But somewhere on this board we have an issue. I believe it's here. So if we're getting power here, we're getting if it's sending power when I key the mic or key the repeater, then possibly our problem is just here. I don't see anything that's blown up on here. It could be the power transistor shot here. We just need to find out what's going on. So I thought, well, I'll go and see if I can find a replacement and one that's working. No, can't find one. Then I thought, well, if I can find one that's not working, I can repair it out here. Maybe between the two of them I can get it running. But so far I have not had any luck. So I'm going to try to repair this one. So we'll find out. I mean, I could take it apart and it could be just a bad connection. You never know what happened. But I do think that the problem is here in the IPA. That's what we're getting an error up here. It's saying nothing from here is going here. So either it's not getting any power, which means we have a problem maybe upstream, or if it is getting power down here at the cable, maybe there's something on the board itself that's shot. So we'll get in there and look. I don't see anything smoked. I don't smell anything, so it's possible there's another problem. But, you know, this repeater's been sitting around for a long time, so we might have to take things apart and clean up connections, and maybe if we do that, it'll magically come back again. Imagine that. So one of the things we should do is just one day, just come in here, pull everything apart, clean all the connections up, make sure everything's clean here. Any place where we got anything plugging into anything, clean it all up. You'll be surprised. Sometimes that solves your issues. So we'll just do that, and I'll try to do some of it on camera. Now there's a lot of these repeaters out there, and I don't think a lot of people either don't know how to work on them. I certainly don't. This is all new to me. I've never worked on one of these before. So we'll just take it logically and do one step at a time and just clean everything and make sure that we got good clean connections, and we'll go from there. But I've already got the receive filter working on it, and so receive's working. It's acting like a repeater. I've got the programming, I think, pretty well ironed out for that, and the only thing that's not working is transmit. So we need to get that working. So that's about all that's really going on here. There's something to do out here all the time. I mean, I got this Motorola power supply over here on the floor that needs to be worked on. See if I can get it fixed again. That used to be our main power supply for our repeater, and then it died, so we had to get a new one. We got a new Astron supply. So that is what's going on here with my shop, and what I've been doing out here as far as trying to get things running. But if you want to stay young and keep your mind active, get one of these old repeaters to work on. That will definitely keep your mind active, and you can read the manuals and learn things you never had learned before. So definitely something you want to do. And I'd like to find another one of these little fan racks to go in the 6-meter repeater. This, like I said, this 6-meter repeater is not going to stay in this cabinet, and it's not going to stay on this shelf either. I need to order a decent shelf and get it all mounted. So a lot of projects coming up. I'll give you one more little update, and this is my APRS digipeater running here, and this is our Tarpon TNC running here, the Nano TNC that I built. Still running great. I need to get a case for it. This is a new Raspberry Pi that's running with. It's been sitting here running non-stop ever since I built it. It's been beautiful, no issues whatsoever. This was just an absolute fun kit to put together. I highly recommend, if you're interested in doing something like this, that you go back and look at the video and maybe order yourself one of these and the parts. And if you have any issues trying to get parts or anything like that, let me know and I'll give you a hand. But it's been running non-stop ever since. Just been great. I'm happy I bought it. It was money well spent. Not a lot of money, but money well spent nonetheless. So I just thought I'd give you a really quick update on that too. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this video up. We didn't get a whole lot done. We did check out the 3 Motorola radios to make sure they were working. So it's conceivable they will be used on some project. Maybe somebody will have a use for them. Maybe me. I don't know. We'll see. The 6-meter repeater, we'll get back on that. Like I said, I'll make a video showing us doing a little sensitivity test on it. I can't remember if I did that already or not, so I got to go back and do it again if I did. And then work on the MSF 5000. Then I still got the groundy project to do. I got some antenna work to do. All kinds of fun things. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. And I love the comments. It takes me sometimes a little while to answer them, but I do like them. So until next time, you guys take care.